Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
no
all
video.
right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. I'm going to, shameless plugs, right? But I met Luch while you were gone.
Oh, come on. How do you not love Luch?
Luch is amazing.
Come on. Well, Luch is awesome, man. I love Luch.
Yeah. So what's really funny is I met Luch, I want to say 2.5 years ago. And I didn't know I met Luch.
You probably met him when you were at Target.
No. I met him when I was at Hubba, and I did a piece. I did a content piece for Hubba on a cosmetic brand that is in Rexall called Box Cosmetics. So that's BOXX Box Cosmetics, run by a really wonderful lady named Sandra Milligan. We're all about the free plugs here, right?
No,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So Sandra was getting help from Luch at the time. And I had met Sandra somewhere else, and I was filming a piece with the Rexall buyer at the time and Sandra Milligan. So they were talking about how they got together, how they wound up, the buyer wound up picking Sandra's product, and then how Sandra, kind of made sure that she was able to get the listings done and kind of get into Rexall and fulfill the buyer's expectations, right? So we did this video piece, and Luch was at the time, I think, helping Sandra as a favor, right? And trying to help her with her, getting listed and all that kind of stuff. So I crossed paths with Luch. I just didn't realize I crossed paths with Luch.
Okay, see, there you go.
Yeah. Like halfway through the conversation, he goes, "Wait a second. You're that Phil Chang," and I go, "Why? You know more than one Phil Chang, right?" Like, so it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome, man. He's a super nice guy, man.
Yeah,
he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
He's another one. He's well connected, right? He's done.
Yeah.
Well, he got Nick's, moving in Canada.
Yeah.
Before they sold it to L'Oreal, so like he's touched a lot of things. Been with Conair for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
I think he was a buyer at the Bay 1,000,000 years ago. And,
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know he's super nice. No, I love Luch. Luch is like a brother.
Yeah.
He's awesome, man.
He's a great dude. Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
A free plug
right?
for Luch too. Okay, so his company is Strategic Business Management Group Inc. SBMG Inc. And he's kind of this super, so if you're looking for a broker, Luch has got some serious experience behind him. He's actually
tons.
He's a guy that could really kind of move and shake things. So
super well connected too.
Yeah.
Within most of the majors in the country.
Yeah.
And very well liked, very well respected. A year older than me, only 2 years older max.
Okay.
I think he's 53 or 54.
Okay.
So he knows the game inside out. Super honest, right?
Yeah.
Like a really good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So if if you're looking for a broker, he's a guy to look up for sure. For sure.
Oh, totally. That's good. So you got a chance to meet. What'd you guys talk about?
Yeah, we talked about all sorts of stuff. We talked about how we work together. I told him about all the digital marketing stuff I do. That kind of made him light up a little bit. He was thinking about some online stuff that we could do together. He's got a bunch of brands that are bricks and mortar that he would like to be able to move online as well. So we talked about how we kind of fit those two together and if there's anything we can do. So
well, we may be talking to you too, because I threw one brand at him that I wanted him to take national.
Okay.
And he threw a brand at me that he wants some help with.
Okay.
And I think in one conversation we both got down sort of the digital. We looked at each other. I said, "Just phone Phil." So I said, "I ain't doing it." I said, "Forget it, man." I said, "Listen, I can't even hook up a mic. Come on, be serious."
I love it. Oh,
just get Phil to do it.
You can do it. I believe in you.
No, Phil, that's okay. Obviously, tonight I've shown that I cannot do it.
No, that's jet lag, man. You can blame some of that on jet lag. It's okay.
Phil, it's 2 plugs. One goes in the iPad, one goes into the headphone jack. It's not rocket science.
All right.
It's something.
All right. I'm trying to help you out here.
Just let it go. It's all good. I got to figure out how to override this mic thing. I think I know what it is. It's the iPad mic is not liking the external mic of the Shure. That's it. This is not liking it.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, and I think so. Or Skype's not liking it.
Oh yeah.
So Skype is saying, "Listen, I'm using the iPad one. What's this stupid? What's this other one?"
Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to shut one down and turn one on.
Right.
Right. I got a feeling that's what the issue is.
Okay.
But
all right.
If that sounded like I knew, then that was the intent, and good for me, because I have no freaking idea what the hell this thing is doing. Guess I could read the instructions too.
So on content, I did want to share this because we're picking up more followers. So I think 3 weeks ago I said I was gonna, I had to double down and just do content, right, and do more content for us. And so
I noticed on Facebook especially.
Yeah, I've been putting out a lot more, a lot more stuff. Slight change, right? So before we did a lot of like, hey, come listen to us, and that worked for a while, and then we kind of hit this like ceiling of, people listening, right? And so, anytime that you're doing content and you run into a ceiling where no more people are coming, it means that your content, whatever you're doing as content, has reached kind of the end of its life for an audience, right? So you're going to keep some of that and then figure out how you do new things. And so I went and tapped, things that we know to be true, right? So that entrepreneurs that listen to us get anxious about, they get anxious about their work, just like we get anxious about not getting paid or doing things that we don't get paid for. And so I started to tap that, and then coffee is a really common theme for us. So, so the two things started to really show up in content. So for 3 weeks, I've been doing a lot of like, like I think the one that we put out yesterday was like, we'd sound terrible without a coffee, so grab one and join us. And it seems to really resonate. Like, so, we actually went up 20% in listenership, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we picked up, and then I've been screwing around with titles, obviously, on the episodes, makes it a little bit more interesting. But we picked up more listeners and more downloads, and so we'll kind of keep it up, and like this is how you do content, right? Is you do it, you find your max, you change it up a little, you keep what you can, and then you start mucking around with it. You got to give it a couple of weeks to see what happens. Like, honestly, in 4 weeks from now, we might tap out again. I might have to change it up again, right? But it's kind of that like getting good content, good pictures, and then driving something and see what happens, right? So.
But I think this is the things you got, with the smaller ones, the entrepreneurs who listen to us. That's why we were saying even last, I can't remember, it was in Spain. No, it was in Portugal already. Whenever I was, we were talking about, how to make sure that you're still staying relevant. Your Facebook, is it still working, et cetera? Mm-hmm. You've got to go in, look at the analytics, and then say, okay, as soon as it seems to be plateauing, it needs a kick in the butt. What is it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think what we're doing right now is a little more fun. It's a little more tongue in cheek, and it's cool, right? Because the whole point is this wasn't supposed to be a serious podcast from the get go.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be serious in that, we want to give good advice and good information, and hopefully if someone listens, if they don't get the answer they want, they know that, hey, listen, these two guys could probably help me. I'll contact them. Perfect. Yeah. Right. That was the whole intent. It wasn't meant to be, TED Talks.
No.
Right?
No.
We're not that.
Nothing TED Talky about.
No, this is supposed to be just, two knuckleheads talk.
Yeah. There's
one guy who understands tech and the other one who doesn't. That's what this is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Right?
Man. Yeah.
And for the most part, I think we fulfill that. We succeed on that.
Yeah, I think so. And I think honestly, the analytics show too, like in Facebook, we with the old posts, we were reaching kind of like 30, 40 people, and we'd have to boost it.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to get, I think this one, like the last 3, 220, So the coffee one with the espresso machine in it hit 194 people reached. So the Make It Happen one on Friday, I tried something. You and I always talking about connecting with other people and driving your network. So I tried that message, but I think it was too complicated. So, we got to like 30 people. But the one before that with the tomatoes, 220 people. Do you know?
I think again, it's just fun though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what people got to focus on their businesses. Like even all our businesses, is there needs to be an element of fun. Now, if you're selling, if you're talking surgery, if you're a doctor, or you're a lawyer, yeah, okay, maybe you don't want to be farting around with silliness.
Yeah.
But for most of the rest of us, it's to have a little bit whimsical or to have a little fun.
Yeah.
I mean, people like it. I mean, especially these days, people are, it's not too fun out there sometimes.
Yeah.
So looking for a little levity or a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Or maybe some straight honesty and not make it so complicated.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
It's tough though. We gotta start. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it because I'm dying to see what it is because it's gonna spin into other businesses, right? I mean, what you learn here, I can do at the coffee bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not like I think as you get used to it, like the big thing I think is as you're doing content, you try and it's like everything else that Kenny and I talk about is you try and make sure it's super simple, right? So I think the shout out. So I've used a whole bunch of these platforms. The one I love the most is Buffer. And so Buffer kind of helps you schedule your stuff. And so, I can tell you like this commerce routine is, every Monday morning, I basically go in and I spend about an hour. I pick really good pictures. I try and write some very succinct, stuff that Kenny and I would say, or similar to what we would say. And then I carve them up into, posts for, every day. And then, some of the things that people teach you, right? So I always schedule. So funny enough, I don't know why we started doing the episodes then, but the episodes drop every Tuesday at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we somehow just kept that schedule. So I've kept that schedule. And then now our social posts drop at 2:02 every day. And so there's something kind of going out every day. We try and make sure like Friday is, a very Friday-esque of like, woohoo, you made it this far, go take a rest, something like that. And then, you kind of build some stuff into that. Try and take advantage of key days. Like, so Throwback Thursdays is a really good one.
Yeah.
Because that's
Hump
a common
day.
theme, right? Hump day is a common theme. So if you have clever things to say, those are good days to tie them in because people are actually looking for those themes online, and so you attract more attention as well, right? So all of those things kind of help you drive more traffic, more attention, things that you need to have eyeballs in your business. So yeah.
And what's Buffer? Is it like Hootsuite?
Yeah, Buffer is a scheduler. It's like Hootsuite. I'm always about the free, right? So Buffer gets you a whole lot of free. I think I can post like 15. I can schedule up to 15 posts, Facebook and Twitter, and not have to pay for it. The only thing is that you do your own analytics then. So because I think you got to pay for the analytic version of Buffer, similar to Hootsuite that way. So. This commerce slice is simplistic enough that I can just track what's happening.
Right.
So I don't really need it. It's definitely. But I like it. It's a good app. It kind of reminds you when you got to go in and do stuff. It's good. I like it. The other one that I've tried that I like, but is a bit clunky, is called Drum Up. And Drum Up sometimes suggests posts for you. So they'll go, you know what, you've been posting stuff like this, like how about this, right? And so sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but it's a pretty decent thing as well. So yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
When did you get back?
I got back yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
It was nice though, man. Yeah, it was good. It was a really good trip. Like, it was a really, really good trip. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Really nice.
Looked amazing.
It was good. I mean, It was fun. We had, considering there were 6 of us, And, with two of them, we've traveled with a lot over the years.
Okay.
The kids are the same age. Their kids are our kids, vice versa, right?
Okay.
I mean, so with them, it's easy because, it's T-shirts and jeans, no issues, like easy peasy, right? Yeah. The other two we've known for like 25, 30 years as well, but we never really travel with them, right?
Okay.
And they travel a little differently. They'll travel a little bit more. They'll do more dressy and they'll do nicer things, etc. So it's I think we were more worried saying, okay, shit, they gotta, they have to come down, numerous notches to play in our little world.
Yeah.
Right. So, but no, they killed it. They were really good about it. I mean, and we were together like for 3 weeks straight. You know what it's like.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're with people for 3 weeks, you're thinking, oh man, this really could go sideways. No, it would turn out for you.
Serious test of friendship, right? So
exactly. No, super fantastic trip. I mean, wow, it was awesome.
That's amazing.
It was awesome, and I really did think I thought we were all going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Because I thought, okay, in 3 weeks, and
it's a long time. It's a long time.
It was, and we were pretty much together all day, every day.
Wow.
There was really no downtime, which was, and still we didn't kill each other. So
nice.
It was good. Honestly, it was a really, 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 really good trip. Really, really good trip. Right? Saw a lot of cool stuff. Did a lot of cool things. But it's like now it's get back yesterday. I'm already outside of my technological disasters all day today. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Get back into work. Trying to get my. I fell asleep at 7 tonight.
Oh man!
I get up at 7:15 in a panic. Something. Oh my god! I forgot Phil.
Yeah.
Forgot Phil.
No.
Right. So no, I didn't forget Phil. But I'm not gonna make it past 9:30 tonight. I don't know. I'm bagged.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I'm bagged.
Well, 5 hours ahead, right? So it's late for you.
Well, it's 8 hours.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
It's 5 for you.
Right. Yeah. It's 5 for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what's going on? How's things?
Damn, things are
I haven't
good.
talked to you in a while.
Yeah. No. I did a webinar with the Askuity guys.
How'd it go?
It went great. I think they're going to reach out to you. I told them that if they're doing buyer series, you got to be on there too.
Cool.
So they'll probably reach out to you. But it was good. We did Confessions of a Retail Buyer. It's kind of like it's funny, right? Because everyone says, "Oh, why do you keep doing these?" And I go, I keep doing them because, people don't, even though we talk about it all the time, people don't process things the same way. And what buyers are thinking about seems to be this great big mystery, right? So I keep trying to, enlighten people on what buyers are thinking about all the time, right? So. But
if anybody's listening to our podcast, better understand what buyers are thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you talking to otherwise?
Yeah. No. I mean that's the thing is, you gotta.
It's critical.
Yeah.
And if not buyers, like even consumers as a buyer.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're both not that we're both massively tapped into maybe what a consumer's thinking all the time.
Yeah.
But definitely from a corporate buy, I mean, that's a beast unto itself on a good day. Right? I mean, shit. You know what buyers are like.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? So that
what the hell?
I know. It was neat though. We got a lot of. I tried to give them a lot on things that they think about, like that vendors think about, that really kind of strike badly with buyers, right? So I was telling, so one of my big things was, don't bring me, if I'm the buyer, don't bring me things like gross trade sales. Whatever you sold in cases, I don't care, right? Because all I hear is that you ship me more inventory, and I have no idea what I sold.
I could give a rat's ass about the gross shipments.
Yeah.
And I don't care that your world is based on that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I get it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My whole world's based on how much is leaving my building.
Yeah.
Not your building.
Yeah. Otherwise, all I did was invest my cash, right, in your inventory.
Exactly.
And then we have to have a different conversation 6 months from now when
Exactly.
I don't have money to buy anything else or no room to store it because all I've got is your shit in my warehouse. So.
Or how do you want it back? Do you want it back in pallets or do we want to talk cases now leaving my warehouse?
Yeah.
Going back to your warehouse.
Yeah.
Because I ain't going to hang on to this shit forever either, right?
Yeah.
The other one that used to drive me crazy honestly just would drive me nuts. It was always so, your spend, let's say, because we've talked about spend, so hopefully people remember what spend is, right? And your spend would be, it's a 10% co-op. So we know that 10% of gross sales is going to be used for advertising, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then they would bring in, well, the spend is really, your co-op is 15, and here's the reason why, 6 lunches, and, there was a conference and this and that. And you're looking at it thinking,
really?
I don't care.
Yeah, really?
The co-op's the only thing I'm worried about. If you don't want to do conferences and grow your business within the building, don't. Right? If you don't think that I'm going to have some preferential treatment for the guys who do attend the conferences and some of the other things, well, take your chances.
Yeah.
Right? If your product's that skookum and the whole world needs it, obviously I'll have to figure it out on my end.
Yep.
But if it's between your product and someone else and the other person is willing to support, well, guess where it's going to go? Right? I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over things.
So they would actually roll up.
Oh, I had people roll up, buddy. Seriously, they would roll up. They would roll up, obviously, straight co-op. Yeah. They would roll up all the conferences they would do. They could potentially roll in entertainment. So let's say that I was in Toronto, and they wanted to take me out to dinner and a hockey game. Right? They would say, well, basically, I look at them. I had one person do that, and I looked and said, listen, I'm in Toronto. I could give a shit if I go. First off, I don't even enjoy going to the hockey game.
Yeah.
So quite frankly, that does nothing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, it's a detriment.
Yeah.
Like, I should penalize you for taking me to fucking hockey game. I didn't want to go in the first place. I couldn't care. And dinner. Yeah. Listen, I could go downstairs in the. I could order room service. I could go to McDonald's. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
I don't need the bottle of wine and the dinner. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because when I was working for LD, it was. It's a good relationship thing. You're talking about other things outside of business, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And it's good for them because it shows their boss that they have a relationship with us too.
Yeah.
So, but don't make it sound like it's, all of a sudden that's
you're doing me favors.
It's
right?
me a favor.
Yeah.
The favor for me is to tell me, listen, Manuch, I'll leave you alone and you can go to your room and sleep. That's a favor.
Yeah.
Going out to a hockey game or dinner or a play, that's no favor for me. That honestly was work. You know what it was like.
Yeah. I mean, you're always on, right? Like,
your day never ended. You get up at 7, you go to bed at 11. You just think I'm exhausted because the whole day I was on.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, I had people seriously bring all that shit back.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right? If they donate, like, let's say, you had a Christmas lunch in the building. There's $500 for that. And you think, okay, you know what? Don't. When I call you, just say no then.
Yeah.
But don't reel it back into my world where now it's my problem.
Yeah. So, hey, for listeners, what we're talking about is co-op fees. So that's kind of like, it's the fee that you need to be able to run promotions and do those sort of things with an account, right? But it's a hotly contested item. It's usually a percentage of sales, right? Obviously. What we're talking about is how you calculate that number. Is it straight up just the dollars and cents that you spend, discounting a product, putting it in flyer, those sort of things, and then what Kenny's talking about is, obviously you got to do some work, creating relationships and things like that. But it seems like some of these guys are rolling all of those back into the number and then saying, hey, we took you to dinner, so your spend, your promotional spend just went up. Which is, kind of silly.
Or they talk about your whole spend being up at that point, right? Whatever. Yeah. And I used to tell them, say, listen, then don't tell me you have a 10% co-op.
Yeah.
Tell me it's 5.
Yeah.
And then you've got 5, to play with on your side. So as soon as you say 10, all I'm thinking is I got 10% for ads.
Yeah.
And I never included scam backs or anything in my co-op. That's not co-op. A scam back is basically you helping getting the price where you want it to be.
Yep.
And I understand why, I know both sides. So I get it as a vendor why it frustrates the shit out of me, because I know most marketing departments are profit centers.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
It does not cost you $10,000 to put a picture on a piece of paper that's distributed to households. It does not cost that. Especially when we know there's 1,000 pictures in that periodical or whatever it is. We get that.
Yeah.
right? So I understand that, everybody knows it's built into it. It's the mechanics of the whole thing. I get it. But,
Yeah.
it's hard for little guys. I mean, I'm sure the people listening are going to understand what the hell we're talking about. But, this is one of those things. But if you're going to go into larger retailers, you need to talk to somebody like Phil or myself. Or, if you don't want to talk to us and you're saying, listen, I don't know if I trust you guys, tell me who you want to talk to.
Yeah.
We probably know the person anyway.
Yeah.
You can talk to whoever you want. The story's going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like, you got to understand the game before you start to play it.
Yeah. It's really important. I mean, what we're talking about, just a couple of things we're talking about, the swing is huge, right, in terms of your discretionary spend at an account. So it's going to be really important for you to give that a thought and think about, what you're doing, where you're doing. If you're a Canadian retailer, and you're going to deal with any of the big guys, Walmart might be more straightforward, because you
got to build it in.
Yeah, you've got to build it in. You've got to watch your retails, but they have less of those things that you got to worry about in terms of business development. If you're dealing with a Loblaws is kind of a beast. There's kind of a lot of things that you need to show up for, you need to be a part of that. You can never calculate into the, kind of what you would spend with a Loblaws to get your business off the ground, right? So,
there's a whole bunch of hidden ones too, like you said. You don't know. I don't know that maybe they had a not a great year, and all of a sudden everybody's going to get slapped with a 1% increase somewhere.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with any of us. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to pay things, understand that you may not be on the shelf tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And it does sound like you're being held hostage, and to some degree, I guess you are. But your choice is: do you need to be with that retailer?
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah. It's definitely we'd suggest it. I mean, whether Kenny's right. I mean, whether it's us or somebody else, definitely
get some help before you go too far.
Talk to people.
Yeah, you've got to work this into your costing, because boy, you can just get you get pummeled.
Slammed,
especially if you're the type of person that you're considering that every penny I put into an account is co-op or whatever you perceive as spend. Then you better understand what that account requires. Because if you're going to include lunches and dinners or whatever it is, and which legitimately is a spend, I get it.
Yeah.
Then you may want to say to yourself, listen, maybe that's an account I don't want to do certain things with. My approach will be like a Walmart. How do you handle Walmart? Go with the right cost.
Yep.
At retail that they want.
Yep. And
you're golden. All the other shit's going to happen later. You may not be able to get that money back if you go too lean.
Yeah, it's true.
But at least it's a lot cleaner game. Yeah. But when you're playing with the Loblaws, where you could be getting debited to death on who knows what.
Yeah, Loblaw's a very tricky paperwork game. You really do need to pay attention to what you're signing up for, what your retails are, what your costs are. It's a really tricky place to be, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely advanced citizenship. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, so that was very cool. That was very fun. Next week I'm jumping in. So I'm doing more stuff with the Mississauga Business Enterprise Center. So next week I'm going to do a social media or a content conversation with them in a panel format. So I'm going to be representing us actually from a podcast perspective.
Oh, cool.
Of podcasting and how that helps your content game and all of those sort of things. So that'll be really fun too. So
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, what the hell, right?
Yeah, I've kind of it's kind of neat. I've had these swings. I've had a small break where I've just kind of worked with customers, but I've got all these kind of small gigs coming up. So I had the Askuity thing. I've got the MBEC thing coming up next week, and then talking to a group about maybe doing some speaking in September, and then in October I head down to Pet Connections. I'm going to be doing a campfire session there as well, so that's going to be pretty interesting too. So yeah, kind of
as long as you can balance it with some billings.
Yeah.
It's all good in the hood, right? Well, what it's like, money. Right? You can do all the fun stuff. It's as long as it pays.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
pay some bills.
I think, yeah, I mean, all of these are kind of lead generation sort of things, right? So,
For sure.
you kind of go out and speak, and then you hope people get attracted and they call you and reach out. So, yeah, the Askuity thing is good. I mean, last time it generated, I think, like a half dozen folks that called me back, and I got some business out of that, and
That's awesome.
hopefully this one will do the same. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
right
pretty
on.
Cool. Yeah.
Right on.
That's going on. Doing some work with the software group. We're gonna write some pretty cool articles coming up. We're gonna talk about the piece we're working on. I don't think I can say yet because we haven't quite finished it, but it's gonna be really cool. She's driving. I think that this software company I'm working with is in white space. She's kind of out there on her own. It's called Intolocate, and they do operational software. So, if you've got, let's say you've got, who's a great example? So one of their customers is HMV in the UK, that has 300 stores ish. And basically, they started using Intolocate because they were having trouble just tracking services. So HMV has, washrooms in every store, and when toilets break, for example, or faucets get leaky and they got to call somebody, tracking the paperwork from head office to store and back again is a nightmare, and tracking the task. Intolocate helps you do all of that stuff, and it does it all by email. So people who are in the kind of project management software of tasking the task don't know they're being tracked. But when you're done with the task, you can literally see who touched it when, who set up, how long did it take, and then the summaries to this thing is really cool. Like, I think HMV now can tell how many toilets they replaced during the year, how many plumbers they used to replace those toilets, and who used what, and, like all sorts of kind of cool operational stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've probably done a very terrible job of
That's
describing
okay.
Intolocate, but pretty cool stuff. So she and I are writing an article that talks about how she's built the software, which I think is pretty revolutionary. So I'm hoping we get it done this week, and then I can talk about it next week as well. But that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah. So some really neat stuff going on there.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So some neat things going on with Mutlux. So the boot company. I think the neatest thing about this job is whatever you sign up for, anytime that, like, so I've been doing this kind of for 4 months now, right, with these guys, and I guess what I realize is that it's not all the assignments that I've been given, or the assignment to kind of help them shape up their social media game, isn't all that I'm doing with them. Like, it's turned into kind of a, mostly social media or digital marketing stuff, but it's also turned into me being, their kind of driving force on creative and long-term vision for marketing. And then I'm doing some coaching. I'm doing some, like employee coaching, employee guidance, like that sort of thing, which is kind of funny too. I guess I realized
I think it's because of the
stuff would
size of the
happen,
companies
but
we're picking.
yeah,
That's
for sure.
why.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I think so,
Because
right?
I know I'm laughing to myself when I listen to you, because I'm thinking, you sign up to, as a project saying, I can help you, sort of, figure out how to
do this thing,
place this, and how to get into retail. And the next thing you're doing, you're writing HR policies, and you're doing sales meetings.
Yes, yes.
You're doing shit that you're thinking.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with what I've.
No.
But you know what it is? These companies are small, and
they're
looking to use sort of the jack of all trades, right?
Yeah, which we are, right? Like, which we are. So.
Yeah, to some degree, obviously. Yeah, I mean, where it's not that we're not may not be of my expertise in certain pockets, but I mean, I can get it done for you, or I can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't figure out how to put a mic onto an iPad, but I could definitely do an HR policy now.
That's the one thing I haven't done yet, but I've done job descriptions now.
Yeah, I've done those.
You know, I'm doing some Shopify work for them. I was working out how to do some IP redirects, like for their U.S. and Canadian stores. Like, you know, it's all over the place, right? But I like it too. Like, I think that's the thing is along the way you learn a lot of things, and you know, and you know what, like, I feel good, right? Like, I feel good that I've helped them with their business. You know, and move them along. Like, that's kind of a big
That's
deal,
the fun
right?
part,
So,
though, right? The
yeah,
part that when you actually see a result, or you think, you know, shit, I think this might have worked.
yeah,
Sorry, jet lag.
yeah. It's all good, man.
Jet lag clicking in, man. Jet lag clicking in. But yeah, you kind of get to the point you think, you know, this is pretty cool, though, right? I mean, if
Yeah,
I can help them out a little bit,
yeah.
what the hell?
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.